Welcome back to Midco Sports Tonight. It's time to talk a little Jackrabbit football, and joining me today is former SDSU player and current Midco SN analyst Hank McCall. So welcome.
Thank you.
Kind of a tough week for the Jacks last week out in Ohio. 19-7 loss to Youngstown State. Not the typical game from SDSU, and I mean, you look at the stat sheet and I watched the game, but the most lopsided thing for me was the time of possession. Just under 15 minutes for the Jacks, 45 for Youngstown. What was going on?
Well, not a whole lot, I guess, is how I would describe it offensively for this SDSU football team. They really struggled to establish any rhythm throughout this football game, which has kind of been a bit of a symptom that we've seen from them throughout the first 4 games of this season. At times they appear to be going through the motions almost. After their first drive, they were able to put some things together. They really struggled to get anything going against a very tough Youngstown State defense. Defensively, as the time of possession indicates, Jackrabbits were physically dominated at the line of scrimmage, and that was a concern coming into this season. A lot of question marks on the defensive front 7, and I think all of that was evidenced last Saturday.
Well, Youngstown's a good team. I mean, ranked number 3. But let's talk a little player specific. Taryn Christian, obviously the returning Missouri Valley Offensive Player of the Year. He's extremely talented, but just didn't seem to be able to get into a groove. Yeah,
he certainly has all of the tools. We know the plays that he can make both with his legs and with his arm. But last Saturday, outside of the first and really the second drive, the team as a whole struggled to get anything going. Taryn, especially in the second half, it was tough going as far as receivers struggling to create separation. The offensive line struggled in pass pro at times. And the Youngstown State Penguins really have a good group of football players on the defensive side, not to mention a coach who has coached at a very high level and is very confident in his staff's ability to counter a potent offense like SDSU's.
Well, we won't drill you too much on this game, but looking at it, I mean, are there positives you can take? This is a 2-part question. Or do you think this was the game for the Jacks that kind of is like, boom, you know, we need to lock down, refocus, and kind of could boost them into, you know, some really impressive performances?
Yeah, not many positives that I'm able to take away from this one, but I think it absolutely has to be the game that could propel these guys throughout the rest of the season, because it really, the expectations certainly were high. All Americans across the board, top 5 ranking that everybody's aware of, but the fact of the matter is they have not played very good football these first 4 weeks, and it appears as if they almost are showing up on Saturday expecting some teams to lay down for them and give them the win. That's not going to happen, guys. And I think that this is a pivotal moment for them. They need to recognize the fact that they've got to show up every single Saturday ready to take those wins. And we'll see if the senior leadership can get them on the right track, because that's who it starts with.
Well, they have another opportunity on Saturday, taking on Southern Illinois, the Salukis. So what's that matchup look like?
Well, it looks like a matchup of a high-powered offense against a defense that struggled in SDSU's the week prior. These guys, they're coming off a lot of confidence from the year prior, led by, for the most part, an aerial attack that's going to spread the Jacks out wide and try to zip the ball around, control the ball as well, as far as time of possession is concerned. And so this defense needs to respond to what was really not a pretty performance from them last week, even though there were flashes at times with plays being made and stops from the defensive front. But another tough task, just one more in what is certainly the toughest conference in the country.
Oh, exactly. All right, well, we're looking forward to seeing the Jacks get back on track. So thanks so much, Hank.
Thank you.
All right, when we come back, Carla Metz checks in with Augustana Volleyball, and later a head-to-head battle here in Sioux Falls with Tom Neiman and Jason Andera. Stay tuned.